I'm the Talking Skull, and this year I'm playing classic first-person shooters to draw a line from Wolfenstein 3D to Halo. The winter of 1994 was a barrage of exciting FPS titles. Within just 5 months, we got Doom 2, Marathon, Heretic, and Dark Forces. While none of these games are as great as Doom, they were the first wave of games to challenge id's masterpiece. What followed afterward was a deluge of mediocre titles that couldn't spark the same excitement. Undoubtedly the biggest was Descent, selling over 1 million copies. But I don't care what Wikipedia says. You can't tell me that this is a first-person shooter. This is a flight sim that happens to be in first person. It drew a lot of comparisons to Doom at the time, but so did Chex Quest. Aside from Descent, we got Cybermage, Killing Time, Kiliak, Witch Haven. Bethesda hit us with Terminator Future Shock, which I thought about covering. But if I cover Future Shock, I'd have to also cover William Shatner's Tech War. And we don't have the kind of time that it would take for me to unpack William Shatner's Tech War. These levels do look kinda nice, though. Wait a second, look where that gun is! What engine was this made in? Maybe I do need to play William Shatner's Tech War. No. The most important release during this time wasn't a game at all. It was the PlayStation 1.
Yes, friends, I'm talking about this. It may look like a harmless bagel toaster, but inside is a deadly donut.
The PS1 hit Japanese shelves at the end of 1994, and in September of 95 it came to North America and Europe. Its release marks the start of the 3D console era, and an explosion of 3D games across all genres. It would still be some time before the average player got their hands on a first-person shooter for console, though. After 8 months with no FPS hits, Raven Software swooped in and dropped Hexen Beyond Heretic. And, well, the drought continues. Within the first hours of the game, it occurred to me what Hexen is. An action RPG, a dungeon crawler. In hindsight, it's clear that Heretic was Raven Software's attempt to push the Doom engine in that direction. With Hexen, they've fully realized that vision, even pulling in Armor Class from D&D. But I don't see eye to eye with them on this new design. All of the additions and changes in Hexen push it away from exciting moment-to-moment action, and towards slow, meticulous, methodical play. I'm sure its fans love this about Hexen, but for me, the experience was more tedious than anything. The foundation of this whole genre, nothing about your game matters if shooting stuff isn't fun. Heretic's enemies were mostly Doom reskins, so they worked, but weren't exactly groundbreaking. Hexen gives us multiple new enemies with stop and wait mechanics. Better not shoot this guy or it'll hurt you. Gotta wait till he drops his shield. When you're not waiting for enemies to be vulnerable, you're falling into the many instant death pits in this game. Taking all the wrong lessons from Dark Forces, Hexen pushes the platforming to the front, and it's just a big, slippery mess. Remember, you can't easily look down, so your already poor first-person spatial awareness is even further hindered. Don't like it? Get good! You don't even get to play around with different weapons. Hexen makes you pick a class when you start the game, and each class has its own weapons, so the game's decent weapon count gets cut down to 4. One of your 4 weapons is your dinky starting weapon. You really don't want to be using this. Why does the screen jitter when I hit someone? Is it having to perfectly line up the enemy? Why? There's no synced animation happening. Another of your 4 weapons is the secret bonus weapon, only available at the end of the game and very missable. So for most of your playthrough, you're working with only 2 real weapons, and no alternate fire. This is not an acceptable arsenal. They've even removed the Tome of Power that gave you super attacks in Heretic. In its place, Hexen mercifully allows you to gas yourself out of existence. Worse than any of that, though, when you're not busy killing monsters, your forward progress is constantly stopped by obfuscated objectives hidden throughout sprawling lateral levels and hubs. Hexen's big new feature is hub-based level design. Hexen is split into 5 zones, each of which has a hub area and several connected levels. Each connected level is accessed through a portal. Go through the portal, complete the level, come back to the hub. This is fine. It doesn't inherently add anything of substance, but it can work. The way it's used here, though, is a nightmare. How am I meant to know which of these doors is which? I have to complete them in a very specific order, and often have to revisit levels with new keys. Get a key in one level to open a lock in another level you already visited, to get another key that opens another lock in another level. Good luck keeping track of which one is which. It's so bad that when you press switches, on-screen text has to appear to explain what the switch did because it's so unclear. The Shadow Forest was actually quite nice though, and I enjoyed exploring it. The levels were distinct, with visual themes, distinguishable entrances, and clear through lines. Wait, what's happening here? I've done all the levels for this hub. What now? Oh my god. There are 6 switches hidden throughout all 3 of this hub's levels. I found 1 of them through normal play. You need all 6 to complete the area. Rub your nose in all the various nooks and crannies to find this hidden button you need to reach a switch to get to the end of the game. Oh, here's one hidden behind a statue in a dark tunnel off in a corner of the map. No, it's fine, just comb this nest of tangled, samey corridors to find the random spots you need. Remember, these aren't secrets. This is all required. Miss even one of these switches, and you get to meticulously scour the entire map again. The addition of hubs is the kind of thing that seems like it would be interesting, but poor execution makes it painful. But hey, you can jump. I had originally planned to cover Hexen 2 a couple months from now. Now I'm not so sure. I mean, Hexen 2 did come out 2 years later. Maybe this one will be different. Okay, Quake Killer, blah blah blah. Oh. In Hexen 2, you must find the majority of the secrets in order to proceed, searching every nook and cranny for some overlooked chink in the wall, in hopes of finding some means of continuing. The clues for solving these stumpers are sometimes vague and in worst cases non-existent. Often the clues are indistinguishable from decorative objects, and you feel the need to walk up to every piece of furniture in every room from every possible angle. Guys, I'm not playing Hexen 2. Raven Software eventually made a Heretic 2 as a full-on action-adventure game. Good for them. They also went on to make Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy. I wonder what they're doing now. But while Raven Software were muscling their way out of the FPS scene, other studios were just getting warmed up. If this old stuff is interesting to you, check out the rest of my series on classic first-person shooters to see what I have to say about Doom and more. And if there are any you think I should cover, leave a comment so I can see. Next week, we'll see Bungie try to improve on Marathon.